on out there? All my peoples, man, on this Tuesday, man. My people celebrating the Halloween holiday today, I guess. Holiday, whatever you want to call it. But y'all want to celebrate? Everybody got their candy, passing out candy. I think my oldest son is going to be passing out candy this year, which is good for him. Shout out to him. You know what I'm saying? All the kids and everything. Used to have to check the candy bags and all of that. Spooky things happen, right? No, but in all fairness, though, y'all see the copyright disclaimer up there on the screen. I always got to start the show off with that. I don't have to read it all the time if I don't want, but as long as it's up there long enough for people to read, it gets spooky out here, y'all. I really do, man. It's crazy. It's crazy out here. So welcome to the Fans Point of View podcast midweek. I'm trying to bring something midweek to y'all with your host, Truckin Chubbzy. Man, the most unknown podcaster there is out there, man. Diamond in the dirt, dust me off and let me shine on the grind, baby. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it. So I just want to say a quick rest in peace to Adam Johnson, his family, loved ones, and everybody who loved Adam, nieces and nephews, aunts, uncles, grandparents, anybody he left behind that loves him. No, I don't know Adam Johnson, but hockey is a sport. I do a sports show. When somebody passes and in a sport and I hear about it, especially in a freak accident such as this, I'm gonna report it and I'm gonna send my condolences. You know what I'm saying? Even if I don't put as much and put any hockey videos out, I'm still going to, acknowledge that somebody died in sports, playing a sport they love, and send my condolences and my prayers to that family. Okay. I made a video about it. You can go ahead and you can check it out just real quick. That's why I believe that players should get 100% of their contract. They put their bodies on the line. They train year round for the sport that they love to play. Yes, it's a game, but they take it very seriously. They're in tip-top shape, lifting, running. There's so much that goes into that. And I'm sure that a lot of people know by now that playing a sport at a professional level is much more than just playing a game. And for them to be getting paid millions, absolutely. Because look at this, you know what I mean? Situations like this, you just never know. And it's just something that it don't happen often, but it can happen. It can happen, y'all. Absolutely can happen at any time. You know what I'm saying? It can happen. So, just send your prayers and good vibes to his family for me. That's all. The Rose Bowl robbery. I made a video about this also. When you're looking at the Rose Bowl robbery, it like I said, it's what I call it. It was Colorado playing UCLA at the Rose Bowl, the game where the Colorado Buffaloes lost. But their locker room was raided. People went through their bags, grabbed personal belongings, money, jewelry. And when you think about that happening at a stadium, somewhere where you're supposed to be safe and not supposed to be a secure place, like that's not cool that would happen here at all. That's so much deeper than anything else. And I'm sure that there has been an update. However, I just haven't looked into the update so far, but I will be coming with an update on that for y'all to verify and clarify things more for y'all. You know what I mean? I put out as much as facts as I could. I put my opinion on it, but I will come with the facts from that and see if anybody was arrested to report or anything to let y'all know more about what's going on with that. Okay, cool. All right. So these is Truckin Chubbzy's big games, man. The big games, man. Big games. And why am I calling them big games? Because that's exactly what they are right now, man. These games are going to be big. These games, I thought that week 11 in college football was going to be like the most important. But when I'm looking at it right now, in the way that people's records are sitting right now, this upcoming Saturday will be an importance. And then next week will be an importance, because this week we got some pretty good damn games coming on. But then next week you got Michigan State playing Penn State. And I'm going to get into that game later on today. But see, these weeks are coming up. And these games, these last couple of weeks of college football are going to be all important. because we don't know who's going to take L's and who's going to take the dubs home. So none other. Let me get my iPad ready for my stats over here. You know what I'm saying? Making sure that it's all good. And then I got my Slack on. So let's get it, ladies and gentlemen. Woo, baby, Ric Flair. Let's get it. All right. So we got Kansas State at Texas, number 25 and number 7 in the country right now, right? Why you got them up there? Ooh, wow. Let me explain to you. Okay. So when you're looking at these teams and you're looking at the total offense that they have, excuse me, let me get this correct really quick. The total offense for the Kansas State Wildcats right now is sitting at 3,717 yards. When you're looking at the Texas Longhorns, total yards for the season, they're looking at 3,633, not far behind. That's what you're thinking, right? You're like, oh, that ain't too bad. That ain't too bad, right? You know, cool. All right, whatever. But when you look at their passing is about the same. You know what I'm saying? I think Texas Longhorns, it has 454 yards, and then when you look at the Kansas State Wildcats, they got 464 yards a game. So they're really pretty even matched. Even though one sits at 25 and one sits at 7, one sits at 5 and 2, one sits at 6 and 1, right? All right, you with me? And then you go ahead into the rushing per game, or you want the rushing for the season or per game? Rushing per game, 226 yards for the Kansas State Wildcats. And then when you look at the rushing per game for the Texas Longhorns, you're looking at 180 yards. So Kansas is running the ball better. Okay, and that is that can actually be a difference in the game, running the ball, because if your run game's working, it helps the offensive line block for passing. You got other times, and Kansas really, they play some tough games. They let one get away from them with Missouri. That was a tough game, beginning of the season. It was a lot of people who lost games at the beginning of the season that probably shouldn't have lost, and there was some that won that probably shouldn't have won. And that's just how it goes. Everybody's coming in fresh, they're hot, full of steam, and the New Year film hasn't been put out on a lot of these teams. Okay, and so when you're looking at, and then you go over to the defense side of the ball for these teams, you're like, oh wait, what defense is better, right? Really, when you're looking at the defenses, you really can't pinpoint on the defense, right? You really can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, their defenses, I don't believe, are not even in the top. Okay, so you got the Texas Longhorns, their defense is up above theirs, and I think that may be the difference, right? That could be the difference. The Texas Longhorns defense could be the difference in this game, but let's not sleep on Kansas neither. Kansas has been doing pretty good on defense, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get y'all primed up for this Texas Longhorns defense, right? The Texas Longhorns defense, they're letting up passing yards per game. I think what was it? I think yards per game average. I think they're letting up 230 yards passing per game. So they're having problems covering the ball. They're not the top stopping team when it comes to that, right? They don't stop everything when it comes to that. But, ladies and gentlemen, hold on, I'm sorry. Click out of that screen. But when you think about that, and Kansas being able to have 260 something yards per game, that's really not that good. But they also run the ball well too, and this is going to be a great Big 12 matchup. But you just cannot count Kansas State out of it. You just can't. And you'd be a fool to count Kansas State up out of this game, man. I mean, their quarterback is just awesome. He's great, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't knock the quarterback. He's not one of those standout stars. You know what I'm saying? He's not the huge standout star that everybody loves and everybody wants to be, and all the super NIL deals and whatever and whatnot. But when you look at what they just did to Houston last week, it was crazy what Will Howard did to Houston last week. They beat Houston, just dominated them, totally dominated Houston, 41-0. That is a crazy game. The running back DJ Giddens had a hell of a game too. 13 carries, 96 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Like, listen to me, y'all. Listen to what I'm saying. Please, please. University of Houston Cougars is no pushover. They're not. They're just not, y'all. And for Kansas State to beat them the way they did, 41-0, that made it look like they were playing one of the FCS teams, man. Like, really. They have getting better every week on in. They have been showing resilience, and they're going up. And it seems like Texas is plateauing. They went down, but now they're trying to like even out. But Kansas is coming up, and it's a Big 12 game. Hard to pick between the two. But all I'm saying, and this is why it's one of the big games for Truckin Chubbzy, because this game has the potential to be an upset game. It does. It just does. If Kansas State defense comes out and plays a good game, they will beat Texas. If they come out and they stop them, yes. Texas has to keep coming out. I mean, and I know it's for a lot of teams, but this is what I'm saying. Like, what I mean. Let me break that down a little bit and tell y'all what I mean about that, okay? Because that wasn't too clear. What I mean by that is that Kansas State's defense isn't that great, okay? They're just not, okay? They're just not. They've been letting up a lot, and Texas can move the ball smooth, but they just beat the dogs out of Houston. But when you look at the rankings for their defense isn't up there for the rankings. So you're like, so it kind of, you know what I'm saying? But they did just stomp Houston, and they did show a lot man. You know what I mean? Like, y'all, like, it's ridiculous. Like, it's really ridiculous. And this is what you kind of get out of college football, man. Like, you just kind of get these weeks where you're like, okay, you know what's going on, and then the next week you don't. And I think that's why I love it, because it's like so unpredictable and so unorthodox to me. Like, like some of the bigger, better schools, like where you have a big dominant offensive line and big dominant defensive line. Yeah, you could kind of call those games and you kind of know who's going to win, but really, if the other school comes out and punches them in the mouth and they take them by, storm, they're going to say, oh my goodness, like, I didn't mean for that. How did this happen? You know what I mean? You had Nate Matlack, you know what I mean? Defensive lineman for the Kansas State Wildcats. He had a sack last week, and I don't think that he's too bad. He had like 2 tackles that game. When you look at a lot of the players, man, on their side of the ball, they did what they had to do. And I believe that Texas, when Texas played, let me pull up those stats real quick when they played Texas, because when Houston played Texas, I don't think it went in their, I don't think it was too much in their favor when they played them. Let me see what they did. Yeah, right. Exactly. So when Texas played Houston almost pulled away with that game. The score was what, 34-21, and then that was the week before, and then they turned around and Kansas beats them 41-0. Maybe they learned something from that Texas game, but Texas they kind of struggled with Houston. Houston had they could have won that game. Houston could have won that game. They let it get away from them at certain points of the game, and that's why I'm saying you gotta love college football. And I think I'm becoming a huge fan of it just because of things like this, man. You can't really say who's what this week or whatever, But when you look at the offense, Kansas has the better offense. Kansas State has the better offense. Okay. Longhorns are supposed to have the better defense statistically, but from the eye test, no. You want to go with Kansas State. And I think that's who's going to pull it off. If I had to choose one, I'd probably go with Kansas State in this game, because I think that they can do it. I just think so. But Texas has that team that is ranked number 7 right now. And why is that? Is Kansas State underrated? Well, can't say that because they lost 2 games, but it was early in the season. But they can show up. They can show up. They can pull a dub here, and maybe they can move up, and they be going bowling and so forth and so on. Okay, so let's go. All right, next up, we got Missouri at Georgia. Why is this one of the big games? It can possibly be another one of those games where you're looking at this may be another upset game. It could be. Georgia just been proving us all wrong, though. Every week, week in and week out, we say, oh, this team, Georgia could possibly lose to this team. And that's because they was getting off the slow starts. But when Georgia get rolling, man, they just get to stomping mud holes in teams, man. Oh, my goodness, my Georgia Bulldogs, boy, don't they? And I ain't really been talking about them too much this year because I'm like, man, who's going to see them? Missouri only lost 1 game. I think they're being disrespected right now, being in the SEC and only losing 1 game and being ranked number 14. Like, I think that's disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, SEC, and I get it. It's probably they beat they didn't beat LSU, and that's the only game they lost was against LSU, 49-39. That's the only game they lost was the LSU. They beat Kentucky, they beat Vanderbilt, they beat Memphis, they beat South Carolina, and they beat Kansas State. And Kansas State, like I just said, is no pushover. But we'll see. They got Georgia this week, Tennessee on the 11th. And that's what I'm saying. These next 2 weeks could be crazy. But Missouri, Georgia, I mean, Georgia just been showing us, man, that they're super dominant. When these other teams go against Georgia, it almost looks like it's not fair, man. And until a team can really show and prove, like after the fact, you cannot go against the Georgia Bulldogs. That defense is just unreal. And that O-line and defensive line is just unreal for the Georgia Bulldogs. You can't go against the Bulldogs, man. But I gotta put it up there, man. Missouri, you gotta give Mizzou their props. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Mizzou Tigers. You have to put them up there. You got to, man. You got to. You got to put it up there. Like, they only lost 1 game. They know they got the toughness. They can go in there and they can give Georgia a good game. They could give Georgia a very good game. Maybe if Georgia comes off to one of them slow starts, like how they've been doing all these, like a couple other games, you can't do that with Missouri. I will say that. They cannot play around with Mizzou the way they have been coming off to them slow starts a couple of weeks. They can't do it. They got to come out, foot on the neck, let's go. Like another Kentucky game. Because if you play around with Mizzou and let them hang around, they will beat you the same way they did Kansas State. Believe me. Believe it. That's why they're on the big game list, and that's why I put it up there. It's going to be a good game, I believe so, y'all. I hope it is. Washington at USC. It's on there. What? You got Washington and USC out there? Yes, I do. Because you got Caleb Williams, right? USC has Caleb Williams. Yeah, he played bad, horrible in the Notre Dame game, right? I think they let another one get up away from him with Oregon, with Utah. And I know, but I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I told y'all Utah is a tough team. I told y'all that they're a very physical, tough team. I told you guys that. And SC, much props to SC and Caleb Williams for that game. Because I'm being honest, I honestly thought that they were going to put it on SC because they're physical and SC showed up. They played a great game. They just, too little too late, man, in that game. Too little too late. And But Utah is a very good team. Utah is no joke. Utah is not nothing to sleep on out here. They are not. I told y'all they were physical, and I told y'all that they would be SC, and I told y'all it wasn't going to be a blowout. I told y'all it was going to be one of them games where it was going to be 3 points or less, and that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what I said. Did I not? That's what I said, and it happened. But they did beat SC. That's because SC, their defensive line is not what it should be. They're not, you know what I mean? They're not what they should be. Their defensive line, it just isn't. They have been struggling against a lot of good offensive lines, and that was the result of it. But they did play pretty damn good, and it shocked me with Utah. So therefore, the battle test that they got against Utah and the work that they got last week with Utah is why I believe that SC can upset Washington this week. I do. I just believe it. It's a Pac-12 game. SC will be going bowling. They will be going bowling. Washington wants to stay undefeated. They've been getting in dogfights, however. Washington got in a dogfight with Arizona State. Shout out to Arizona State. And in that game, whether they beat Arizona State or not, it was enough for me to see, from a fan's point of view, enough for Truckin Chubbzy to see that SC can absolutely beat Washington. Absolutely. Now, I don't know if it's one of these games where they like, okay, we're going to play down with our opponents, but Arizona State came out and they knew that they had to be physical with Washington. They knew that. They knew that they had to be physical with Washington, and that's exactly what they did. Scatterboo ran the ball strong and hard. He did fumble that game, but that might show SC something that they need to do. SC might need to come out, and they might need to take some notes from that Arizona State game. And if they pull anything from that film, I'm telling y'all right now that SC will beat number 5 Washington. And I believe this is why in a lot of people's list, Washington isn't ranked high, because they've seen this game on the schedule, and they probably early in preseason, you looked at this game on the schedule and you probably said to yourself, oh, SC might get Washington this year. This may be the year. Caleb Williams is coming back, and this may be the year that they get him, man. Like, and I don't see nothing wrong with that, man. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? I really don't see nothing wrong with people saying that. But Washington is a great team. Michael Penix Jr. and those receivers that he have over there are NFL ready. A lot of people are saying that up and down, that they're NFL ready. They're ready to go. They're ready to play ball right now. And when you watch them on film, you can actually see that. But they did struggle in that game, like I said. And that showed a lot. Not to say that they also didn't see that film, and they also know that they have some things that they need to clean up, and they need to come out and they need to play ball. But the game is at SC, and I think that they might go ahead and pull this game off. And SC, I mean, look, y'all, we know, right? We know SC just struggled, right? They did. They got into a dogfight with California, another Pac-12 team. They did. But they came back in that game. California had that game, and they came back resilience, and they won the game. So that, and then Marshawn Lloyd played a game, good game, and Scatterboo is a good running back. Let me give him his props. Scatterboo is a good running back, but he's no Marshawn Lloyd though. So where do you want to go with this game? I wouldn't be mad if somebody said took Washington. No, I mean, I'm just saying that it's a big game, and put them on upset alert right now, because that could happen. Okay, that's all that Truckin Chubbzy saying. You know what I mean? From fans, that's all I'm saying, y'all. That's all I'm saying. Not much. All right. So let me get this next slide pulled up here. All right. Oh. The next one was LSU. We got LSU at the Crimson Tide. Oh, right. Good game. Look, y'all. It's not rocket science to know. It's not rocket science to know. You know what I'm saying? It's really not. to know that Alabama is not the Alabama of old. But this is why I've been giving Nick Saban all the props. Shout out to Nick Saban, because it's challenging him this year with his team not being a dominant powerhouse throwback Alabama team. But he is a hell of a coach because he is coaching them boys and young men to win, and he does not have the Alabama of old teams. Let's just say that, okay? And right now, they're vulnerable, and LSU can go into Alabama and pull it off. They have the talent and Daniels at quarterback for them. They have the defense that can get it done. And that's why I made it a big game and put them on upset alert. And then when you're looking at it statistically, so if you wanted to look at it, even if you wanted to look at it statistically, y'all, right now, Alabama has the number one offense in all of college football. They have a very explosive offense. They're averaging about 340 yards passing per game, 213 yards rushing per game. They're putting up about 48 points a game. Yo, crazy. My man, look. And you could easily, and just to go back a little bit, you could easily say that about Washington with like the number 5 offense in all of college football. But it's a little bit different there. You know what I mean? LSU's offense is fire. Let's not sleep on that, okay? And Alabama's defense. So when you look at Alabama's defense, right? Where are they ranked? Keep going. They're not that bad. They're about Alabama's defense isn't that bad. And they're giving up about 303 passing yards a game. About 300 yards passing a game, and about only 100 yards rushing per game. So you can't really run the ball on Alabama. But you can pass on Alabama, right? But the Tennessee game showed resilience for Alabama. They came back and they pulled it off. I think that Tennessee let that game get away from them. If you ask me, they did. I believe that Tennessee let the game get away from them, or Alabama. That's what I think. Anytime you up and somebody comes back to beat you, you let the game get away from you, right? But some people argue and say that Alabama came back and they did what Alabama do. They beat them. They came back and they beat Tennessee. I don't think that you can let LSU get up on you like that, though, Alabama. I don't think that works. I don't think that LSU's defense hasn't been that great statistically, okay? When you look at the statistics, no, they're not that great statistically. But they play. And that's the bottom line. They play when they need to play. And I think that as long as they're up and they're forcing Alabama to have to pass the ball, Alabama will be in trouble. Alabama will be in trouble if they are forced to have to pass the ball against that LSU Tigers defense. Can we agree with that, people? Can we say that? Can we agree with that? Right? That take right there. You know what I mean? We all know that Chase Daniels is going to put up points. He's going to do his thing. We know this. We know that offense is going to get off, right? We know that. We know LSU's offense is going to get off. We do know that, y'all. You know what I mean? But we'll see what Alabama's defense come up with. That is a Nick Saban team, and you just can't count them out. But they are ranked right now. They're ranked higher than LSU, so it would be more of a big game upset, and that's why that's on the list. Alabama's ranked number 8. LSU is number 13, so that's why it's on there like that. Okay, all right, rock with me. That was cool. That mess with me. All right, man. We got the next one up. UCLA Bruins at Arizona. Why you got this game up here, man? These is like You know what I mean? One unranked team and number 20 UCLA. Well, because it's going to be a good game, and I think it's going to be one of them. It's a fans' point of view, and I believe that this is going to be a battle. This game is going to set something, set that Pac-12 up. You know what I'm saying? It's going, that Pac-12 been, you know. But so looking at this right here, you see that Arizona has been playing very, very good football as of late. That offense has tremendously gotten a lot better. They have been looking, and they pulled off a game against Oregon State. And when I seen the matchup, and I'm thinking to myself, and I said, man, when I seen Arizona play, I said, man, they're a tough team. Arizona is a tough team, man. They play hard, man. And they beat Oregon State. Showed me a lot. That win at Oregon State showed me a lot. If they can repeat bring that same intensity to UCLA, and what I saw out of UCLA last week, Chip Kelly's team, it's going to be a good game. It's going to be another good game they're in for. But like I said, unranked Arizona is going to be a formidable opponent for UCLA, and don't count them out. This can be another upset game to watch for, to take UCLA right back out of the rankings, because we've seen what UCLA struggled with against the Colorado Buffaloes last week, and we've seen what that defensive line did last week. However, I just don't think that defensive line is going to do Arizona the same way that they did the Colorado Buffaloes. That's not going to happen this game. This is going to be a very good game, and I think it's going to be an upset game, only because UCLA's ranked number 20 and Arizona's not ranked. That's why I think that they'll pull it, that they possibly can pull this game off, man. Watch out for this game, y'all. That's why it's on the big list. We pretty much seen last week what UCLA can do. But the quarterback play out of Arizona right now, he's great. That kid is great, man. I cannot pronounce his last name, and I don't even want to try. So I'm gonna just say Noah. Noah is good, man. And in that Oregon State game, man, he went 25 for 32, 275 yards and 3 tutties, man. He's good, man. That kid is good. You hear me? And I think that they struggled with the pass last week, and you can't do that. You know what I mean? And Arizona could run the ball versus Colorado State not being able to run the ball at all, or they're not even trying. But I'll get into them a little bit later. But it's going to be a good one, y'all. Another upset game. I keep saying that because it just is. That's why I got it on the big game list. There you go. Bam. Next game. College foot. Oh, man. Why you doing me like that? All right. Well, I put this game up here because obviously it could be another upset. Colorado's at home. I know they haven't been playing great. We know the offensive line is boo-boo. We know it. We know the offensive line is not good at all. We know that about Colorado. But however, we know that that's the only thing wrong with Colorado right now. Colorado still has arguably the best college football quarterback. There is 3 quarterbacks in college football right now. Like that I could say. I mean, I think Bo Nix right now is just running away with the Heisman. Well, you got Michael Penix, Bo Nix, and Caleb Williams. We'll say we'll still put Caleb in there, right? But DJ Uiagalelei, he's been putting in some work too, man. Let's not he been putting it in too, y'all. He's been putting it in, you know what I'm saying? He's been putting it in. Let's not get that twisted. That boy been out there balling too, man. And Oregon, Oregon State, man, they just so physical, man. I just love the way they play football, man. Like, I do. I just love watching Oregon State play football, man. They're just so physical. I'm a fan of the black and orange in college football, not in pro football. No. But yes, I like and I enjoy watching Oregon State play football. They play so physical, fast. Some people say they got the best tight end in college football on the team. And when I seen them play, I think so. And they're fast. They got this little fast receiver. They do a lot of things. They got some speed at receiver too. But Colorado does have the best defensive back in college football on their team. Let's not get that twisted. That defense stepped up and they played pretty good. I don't know the update right now on Shiloh Sanders, but I will bring that in the Rose Bowl robbery update video. I will bring an update on Shiloh Sanders to see if they appealed, and also an update on the robbery. But with Shiloh Sanders being gone, do you think that will actually hurt them? I don't think that'll hurt them that much. He is he's a good tackler. He's hit run support. Shiloh is a guy. But if they are looking to try to pass the ball, I think Trevor Woods and Ward and Slusher, Cameron Solomon Craig, they have D-backs. They will be able to hold down for one half. And I think this is why that's going to help Colorado. Believe it or not, y'all, I think that's going to help Colorado. The fact that if Shiloh Sanders has to sit a whole half, he's going to come in the second half with first half wind. And he only has to play one half of the game. Listen to me. He came out on fire, with his head on fire in that game, that last game with UCLA. And I'm telling you right now, if he come out like that in the second half and he ain't played the whole first half, he got all that first half energy, boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. I can't count Colorado out of this game. I just cannot. Seeing what happened. Okay, the Arizona State game got away from them. They lost to Arizona, right? Not Arizona State, but they lost to Arizona, right? But just knowing what Colorado can do, and if they give Shedeur enough time, or they come up with some kind of fix for that offense, I do honestly believe that they can pull it off against the Beavers being at home. And if that crowd stays with them, even if they're down, if that crowd stay with the damn team instead of wanting to cheer for everything, because it's almost like a damn golf crowd. They get so loud when they doing good, but then they don't cheer for them when they need to come back. And I don't really rock with that. But block is the only thing that Colorado has to do. However, when it comes to Oregon State, get after Shedeur. They got to get after Shedeur. Every team knows that. Get after Shedeur. Beat up on that offensive line. And I don't think they have problems with putting up points. And, so really that's why I was leaning on more of how Colorado could win this game and putting them up there as a possible upset if they block. If they block good, they'll win. That's why I put it on a big game for it, okay? Texas A&M at Ole Miss. Why are they on your big game, boys? Truckin Chubbzy? Why? Let me explain. So, people will say, "Well, I don't think that Texas A&M is really that good. I think they're fooling us and this and that." The Aggies are 5-3 this year. We all know the Aggies got a good team. We all know that they're both in the SEC. Ole Miss Rebels are 7-1. We know this. We know, but do you also know that the Aggies have one of the best defenses in college football? Do you know this? if you had to rank them, they're up there with the shockingly Clemson when it goes to passing yards per game allowed. Shockingly Clemson. Uh, Ohio State, Air Force, Penn State, and the Wolverines when it comes to passing yards allowed per game, okay, on defense. And that's pretty damn good. Total yards on defense, I'm sorry. That's pretty damn good, John. Pretty damn good. Shocking stat, right? And that's I had to, and when you looking at some of these teams with multiple losses, that's where you get to looking at. Well, how well is their defense playing? And how well is that defense looking? Well, you see it. I just told you that they're up there, with some of the best schools. You know what I mean? So you can't count out the Aggies at all. They're doing pretty good when it comes to holding the other team out of the end zone. They let some games get away from them. And that's, some people say that's just what Aggies do, but they're way better than what their record is, y'all. They're a lot better than what their record is. They got, I really don't know what's in the water right now at Texas A&M, but they are a lot better than what their record is. They're on this big board because they're unranked with losing 3 games, and they're going to play the number 11 Ole Miss Rebels. And I'm telling y'all right now, you cannot count the Aggies out. I think they got more. I think they have more than a chance of beating Ole Miss this week. And that's what Truckin Chubbzy got to say about that, y'all. Leave it at that, because I really do. I really think they got a chance of pulling it off this week. That's why they're on the big board game, no upset game, right? All right. Let's get up into this. I checked off some games with. I tried to check off some games. It looked like my 6 or 7 year old son checked them, but I was using a mouse. So all right, give me a break. All right, give me a break. All right, I checked off some of the games because at first I thought, now this is November 11th games, and I said earlier this year that this would be the most important college game week this year. I did say if these teams were to win out, if these teams had winning records, this would be a very good week. But if you're still looking at, if Kentucky didn't lose, they're playing Alabama. But how Alabama's been playing, you think Kentucky got a chance against them? I don't know. I didn't check it, but Baylor at Kansas State, it's always a good one, suppose. But I'm gonna go with the check games, okay? Tennessee at Missouri. Missouri has Georgia this week. We know Tennessee been playing that. That's always a good rumble, always a good game. It's important because of their records and where they sit right now and where they're trying to get to. Okay, if Missouri was to lose to Georgia this week, they definitely need to come back next week, and they need to beat Tennessee. Okay. If Mississippi wins this week at number 11, and I'm sure that somebody's going to get knocked out of the top 10 this upcoming week. Somebody's going to lose in the top 10, and they're going to have a chance to move up. Mississippi is. And if they get past Texas A&M and they win that game, let's say they do. Okay? Playing Georgia undefeated at Georgia would be huge for them. Huge, because they are supposedly and arguably the best team on the West. Okay, Alabama has it right now, but Mississippi's right there, man. They right there, like literally, y'all. They right there. Texas at TCU. I thought that TCU would have a better record than that, and they usually play Texas really good. And Texas can't go in there and they can't sleep. That's going to be a dog fight. So that's why I thought this was going to be earlier this year. West Virginia playing Oklahoma. They beat Texas, man. West Virginia sometimes gets them. They really do, man. I mean, look. But Utah playing Washington. even if Washington survives the UC game, the SC game, and I'm just saying, I don't know. That's a toss up. Utah has the team to beat Washington. You know what I mean? If Washington gets past these next two games with W's, SC, and Utah, there'll be no doubt in my mind that Washington deserves to be in the college football playoff. No doubt. No doubt in my mind. Period. And that, you know what I mean? Because the two SC's really not that physical, but they did show that physical. They really did. They really shocked me, showing how they get down with Arizona. You know, even though they showed me something, man. You know, and Utah's just not that. They're I don't know, man. Utah's that they're at to me. They're good. Utah's good to me, man. They really are the Utes. They really good. Florida at Florida State. Miami at Florida State. That's that game right there. You know what I'm saying? That is like that rivalry game right there is like the Super Bowl of Florida, if you will. You know what I mean? That's it. Everybody in Florida is glued to that game. That game right there is where, for that 1 week, Florida is separated by Hurricane fans and Florida State fans. That whole week, everybody in Florida talking trash. That whole week, it's just that chaotic. That whole week is just like that, okay? And Miami knows that, and they're going to play very hard against Florida State. Florida State's going to get their best, and they better come out and they better play hard against Miami. If not, okay, all right. USC at Oregon. These were supposed to be the best two teams right now, hands down, in the Pac-12. Right now, as we stand, they were supposed to be the best, period. USC wasn't supposed to lose 2 games. Oregon wasn't supposed to lose 1 at all this year with Bo Nix coming back. It weren't. But SC wants to win out. They want to ruin hopes. SC got to win this week and next week in order to even be back in the rankings. What would that put them in the college football playoff? In the Pac-12, me, fans' point of view, my opinion, I think that if a Pac-12 team lost 2 games in the Pac-12, I absolutely think they still deserve to be in the college football playoffs, depending on what 2 teams they lose to. If you take an L against Oregon and Washington, yes. But if you can beat Oregon and Washington, yes. Yes, you know what I mean? I honestly, I just, I don't see UC doing that. If it's a Oregon losing to Washington or Washington losing to Oregon, yes. But at this point, though, if SC was to win out these games, I don't think that they'll be allowed in, seeing who they lost to in the Pac-12, because the other teams that's going to make it to the college football playoffs, they would not lose to those teams, okay? They just wouldn't, you know what I mean? Georgia, no. Michigan, no. Neither one of them teams are going to lose. None of them teams in the Pac-12. They just went and did it, no. But Oregon, I still think Oregon is alive, and it's going to be a good game. It's going to put a lot of pressure on Oregon right now, and Oregon's going to have to come on. They're going to have to play that game really, really good against SC and not let SC have any room to breathe. All right? Period. It's a good game. Florida at LSU. LSU still got the number 1 team. The Gators, they come out to play. I thought that would be an important game because, like, a lot of these teams are just trying to ruin hopes at this point in the season. And I think that Florida may be surprising to LSU. Maybe. Now, the last check I got on this list, y'all, as y'all can see, is that I didn't read off yet, was Michigan at Penn State. Michigan at Penn State. Man, oh man, listen to me. Penn They both right now, as it stands, have the best two defenses in college football. Believe it or not, they do. They just do. These are statistically the best two defenses in college football. If you ask me, yes, they are. And Penn State played Ohio State a lot better than what I thought they would, even though their schedule was not uh, up to pars with Ohio State's at all. I didn't think that they played enough games to be ready for that Ohio State game, but they did shock me on how they played Ohio State. Michigan is just so dominant this year. I really think that that they have a chance to go all the way this year. But you can't count Penn State out. You just can't count Penn State out. I don't think that Michigan will. But we'll see what happens this game. But I do think this is a very, very important game to set the tone. I do. I think this is a very important game to set the tone for that Big Ten over there and see what happens here. Can Michigan win out? I mean, if Michigan, once they get, it's only like 3 teams in the Big Ten, right? We all know who that is. Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State, right? Right? The 3 big teams. Who wins those games? Who gets them? You know what I mean? Pretty much goes to college football playoff. And I think that's why the Big Ten hasn't won the college football playoff, because there's not enough competition in the Big Ten. That's why you're getting these other schools moving over there. I think you got Washington going over there, Oregon going over there. You know what I mean? And that's going to help that division be more battle tested and ready if they win that conference to go and win the college football playoff. Because you're seeing teams go up against Georgia and get annihilated in the college football playoff, and that's just crazy. We don't want no more 55-7 college football playoff games. But yeah, that game's gonna be a good game, man. Don't count Penn State out. They may be able to beat Michigan, because I think that they couldn't beat Ohio State, but I think that Ohio State can beat Michigan. That's just me. All right. Yo, okay. We get the Irish at Clemson. This is another one. This is another one of them games where I got up here and I said, man, why do you have this game up here? Clemson, Dabo Swinney, man, they're losing games. Dabo said some words. He shouldn't have said this and said that. Clemson's defense not that bad, y'all. They just aren't that bad. They're really not that bad. They lost some games. They let some games get away from them. I think that Clemson will put up a better game. Clemson could get this game, y'all. They really could. And this is why this on the Truckin Chubbzy's big game. This is why it's on there, y'all. Because Clemson can do it. Now, will they is the question. Will Dabo have these boys ready, these young men ready to play the Irish? I do absolutely think they will come out and they will play them tough. They will. And that's why it's on here. These are the games that I want to watch for the upsets. Obviously, y'all can see that by now, I'm sure, that these are games that I picked that maybe the underdog can win. And this is another one of those games where I think that Clemson can beat the Irish. Watch out for that. Even though Notre Dame has been playing so well, they have been proving people wrong week in and week out, and big up to them, man. But Clemson is just one of them teams right now, and this is almost like a bowl game that I'm getting to play a team in grace the field with Notre Dame fighting Irish right now, coming to their house. This is a huge game for them, when they gotta win it in order to even keep their bowl hopes alive. So now it's playoff football for Clemson right now. Right now, Clemson is in playoff football mode. Same thing with a lot of these other schools. They're in playoff football mode right now, trying to get to that bowl game. So yes, I do think that they'll come out and give the Irish one of their best games being at home, and they could pull it off, folks. You heard it first from me. Truckin Chubbzy said it first. Yes. The Thursday night football game that's going to be coming on this week, y'all. We got the Tennessee Titans going to my Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, man. With Kenny Pickett being down right now, um, I've been saying some things about our offense, man. As y'all know, man. Watching the Jag game. One thing that I took from that was that he missed a lot of reads, man. He missed a lot of reads. He just did. He missed them. He missed Pickens a couple of times. You know what I mean? He missed. They both missing people in the offense, and I don't know why and what's going on with that. Got two veteran backups. I'd rather definitely go with Mitch than Mason Rudolph. That's just me. I don't know. I think Kenny looked decent. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm hard on Kenny Pickett. I really am. I think he looked all right when he was scrambling and moving around. Like, and I think that's part of his game. And that's just how you got to let these guys play. That's why you need two quarterbacks in the NFL. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? You got to let them play like that when it's called for to win the game. Like, we wind up getting stomped on. But I think us being back at home and playing against the Titans, I don't think they about to do us in. I think we're going. Well, I know we're gonna win this game, but I like to see that our offense play a lot better. Our defense is unreal. Out there. I mean, come on, like you cannot. Every team is afraid to play us because they know our defense is unreal. But our offense is the problem, and we still having quarterback woes. And I don't understand why we keep having these quarterback woes and why we don't have the backup to go to. And Mitch threw 2 picks. He threw one. I don't think he should have done that into that. That was like he was like damn near triple covered. And I think Deontay Johnson was wide open. I think he was. I want to say Deontay was wide open on that play, and he was just trying to get rid of the ball fast or whatever it was, or he wasn't scared to throw the ball. But the deep ball didn't look bad, and it just didn't that deep. But he threw that pick, and then the last one he just threw up the Hail Mary pick off. But I like what I'm seeing up out of Jaylen Warren. I definitely like what I'm seeing up out of him. He running hard, untamed, man. Like I told y'all he was. And our defense just need to get off the field at times, man. You know, our defense need to get off our field at times. And I think we get this game. I think we get this win, and then we'll build off of that. Because I really don't see the Titans beating us. If the Titans beat us, man, I'm like that. No, I'm not even gonna talk like that, dog. Like, what are you talking about? Like, the Titans not. They not. Because our defense is just that dominant. Like, we need our defense to score touchdowns in order. Like, it's crazy because our offense isn't putting up the points consistently. Our offense is not consistent. It's not. And I don't understand that. Like, we gotta feed that back. Get that man Jaylen Warren. Keep giving him the ball in the open field. That's the key to our new offense. He gets that offense rolling. Then we get Austin rolling. And then we get Pickens out there, because their people are on Pickens. They know Pickens could do his thing, and Deontay Johnson gonna wind up open. But you can't guard everybody on our team. So we got the weapons, we got everything going on. Don't turn the ball over, quarterbacks. Don't throw the game away, and we win the game easily. We win a lot more games easily. We got to stop being so damn conservative, though. Like, we got to start going at these people's throats, man. Like, I don't know if we saving the playbook for the playoffs or what. Like, but we got to stop being so damn conservative, man. We got to open it up. Like, we got to open it up. And it's these and I know we don't win all sexy. We play tough football, you know what I'm saying? Keep the score low, run the ball, throw some passes and whatnot, right? And try to keep the good plays for the playoffs. I get it, man. I do. I get it, But damn, like we got playoff receivers. Like I'm not worried about that, but it's just that conservative shit. It kills us at times, man. It kills the momentum. It just looks horrible. Like it's fucking boring. Like fuck. Like just be real, man. Like shit. But a win is a win, and I think we're gonna get one this week. So rocking with that, man. Yeah, no, thank y'all for rocking with me, man. It was just a midweek, man. The first ever midweek college football show. I got through it, man. You know what I'm saying? Thank y'all for watching with Fans Point of View podcast with your host, Truckin Chubbzy, the most unknown podcast of diving in the dirt. Dust me off, let me shine on the grind. It's okay to replay. Let's go. Thank you. Peace.